Hi, my name is Elinor and I run a blog called the Nylon Swish. So in this video I'm going to talk to you about fan lace girdles. So this is a fan lace girdle. It's one of my favourite garments. I have a whole heap of vintage fan lace girdles. Some of them don't even fit me, they're way too big or way too small, but I just absolutely love them. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to give you a very brief introduction to where the fan lace girdle came from, and then I will show you how to put on a modern fan lace girdle, and I'll tell you all about sizing. I'll give you a review of this item. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So first of all, fan lace girdles. So fan lace girdles are a relative of the standard corset. So I have a modern little waspy corset from Orchard Corset. So here the busk goes up at the front, and at the back you have the laces. So you would either put that on yourself and lace yourself up, or you would ask a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend to lace you up. But that requires, well, for you to have arms that can reach around the back. So if you're elderly or you have joint or muscle problems in your arms, it might be quite difficult. And this was a common problem back when women used to wear corsets on a daily basis. So women used to have maids in their house who would help them get dressed in the morning, and the maids would lace up their corsets for them. But that was quite expensive to have a maid in the house all the time. So in the early 20th century, and especially after World War I, having a maid was a luxury that a lot of families couldn't afford. So doing up your corsets behind your back was possible for some people, but it was inconvenient for other people. So this is where the fan lace girdle comes in. So there's a gentleman called Samuel Camp who invented the fan lace girdle in 1908, is when the first girdle was released. And the reason that he released it was because, like I said, women had difficulty doing up their corsets. So this is I call it a girdle, some people call it a corset, you can call it whatever you want, corset, girdle, whatever, but essentially it's a hybrid of both. The fabric does not stretch, just like a corset. So a standard corset, the fabric is non-stretch. The only give you get is from the lacing at the back. So this is just the same. This is non-stretch. Sometimes you get some small triangular panels on fan lace girdles, and they allow a small amount of stretch around the legs. So when you're walking, the girdle has a small amount of give. This girdle, I think, dates from around the 1930s, and it's quite a basic girdle. You might not think so looking at it, but the more upmarket, luxurious, expensive fan lace girdles would have been made of satin. So this is probably just a standard girdle that the average lady would have been wearing under her dress, believe it or not. So the girdle does up here at the side. So you've got hook and eyes, and you do that up from the top all the way down to the bottom. Let me just bring that down. So the bottom comes here. This would sit from just under the bust like this to at the back it would sit just under the bum. So it would cover this entire area. Now, once you've done this up, this is where it gets fun. So you'd want to tighten it, but instead of tightening it at the back, like I was saying, you do with a normal corset, you just bring these to the front and you yank them. So if I just undo, let me undo the top one for you. Okay, so when you put this on, it will be all loose like this, and that's so that you can put it on and do it up at the front. So it's going to be a bit baggy around the front, but as you pull it tighter, messed it up now. As you pull it tighter, it closes the corset back. So there's no need to pull here. All you would do is you pull at the front like this, and then you would slide this buckle, so they have metal buckles on them. Slide that through the loop at the front to secure it, and then just like a belt. I mean, I don't own belts like this, but I think some men do. And you just fasten it up and tighten it as tight as you want it. So you would do that here, you do that down at the bottom, same idea. Some girdles, they have 2, some have 3 fan lace sections. So these garments would have mostly been custom made for the lady who was wearing it. Now, depending on the woman's shape, it would have been built differently. So a lot of the girdles that you'll find in charity shops, antique shops, they will have been custom made. And if you look on the inside, it often has labeling, but it's printed on the inside of the girdle rather than having a label. And it will say something like a curvy shape or a straight torso, straight body. So that gives you an indication of the shape of the lady who would have worn this girdle. So with the really curvy ladies, they would have probably had one section of fan lacing here, and then another one, and then an extra section of fan lacing here. And that's to allow more shaping, so you can pull it in here at the waist, you can pull it in here, and you can pull it in around the bum. So it just allows you to shape the girdle to your body. For someone like me, I have an hourglass figure or pear shape, or I can't distinguish between the two really. I have a small waist and large hips, and I would really benefit from having 3 sections of fan lacing, because I'd be able to pull it. And I'll explain a little bit more about that when I show you my modern version of this. So that's where the fan lace girdle came from. Now if you want to buy one of these, I recommend that you look around, like I said, in charity shops, in antique shops. They are everywhere in Sydney. I see them every time I go to a charity shop in the city. You shouldn't really pay more than, I'm going to say, 60 to 70 Australian dollars. If somebody's trying to charge you more for that, for their girdle, I would move on. Unless it's a satin garment, then they're worth a lot more. Also, I would check to see if it has the garter clips. This one has 4. Yep, it has all 4, so that's perfect. But that's really important, so check that they have all the garter clips. Now the other interesting thing about this girdle is that this design is actually still used in some medical corsets. So if you have a bad back, for example, I know the NHS used to give these out, but you have medical girdles. So they are the same concept, you pull them at the front. This one has fan lacing on the sides. So that's quite an interesting design as well. It's exactly the same, it just, you pull it at the front, but it just does up at the sides. these are so common in Sydney. I went into a charity shop once and I saw 3 of these, and then I went into a charity shop next door and there are another 2. They're really, really common. This one doesn't have garter clips. It's purely to support the wearer's back, whereas this is a foundation garment. So, I'm going to show you how to put on my modern fern lace girdle. So, my partner actually bought this for me as a gift. And this is from what used to be called Girdle Bound. It's now justfigures.com. So, this is a modern variant on the vintage style. It's a Cortland backlacing corset girdle. That's the name of it. So if you want to go on justfigures.com, look for Cortland backlacing corset girdle. I believe they custom dye these as well. So if you want that, you can put in a request for a custom dye. They are priced at $70 US. So it's not that expensive. But it's quite a complicated garment to make, to design, to lace that. So in terms of sizing, you would buy this based on your waist measurement. So my waist fluctuates between 30, 31.5 inches. At the time when my partner bought this for me, I was a constant 30-inch waister. And I think I've eaten a lot more pasta since then. So it doesn't fully close on me unless I go really tight. But you would buy it based on your waist size. This is a bit of a problem for me and would have been resolved back in the 30s when everyone was getting their undergarments custom made for them. Because I have a 30 to 31 inch waist and a 45-inch hip, I'm quite curvy, and that causes problems with garments like these girdles, because I might be able to do it up at the waist, but around the bum and the hips it will be open. So I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm just going to show you how to put this on. Okay. So you would wrap it around you. That's the back. And this does up at the side. So you make sure that this panel is at the front, and this has, is it metal? No, it's plastic boning at the front. Okay, so you have hook and eye, just like the vintage one, which is great. Now, when you're doing this up, you'll find the first few tend to come undone. So you might have to do this up again. So just button these up. It doesn't take that long. And we're nearly done. Okay, so that's that fastened up. So once you've done that, make sure that everything is in the middle. Make adjustments if you need to. Now, like I was saying, there is a small amount of give here, so that's slightly elasticated. Same here. We don't have that on the vintage piece, but the modern one has a little bit of give, so on your fat days that'll stretch a bit. Okay, so how do you do it up? If you look at the back here, we have these 2 tabs. So you would pull that So you pull that as tight as you want it to go. And then you have little, where are we? We have some plastic loops here where you can feed this into. And then you bring that to the front, so that just hangs loose here. And we have the same here, so that just hangs here. So as you can see, that's moulded to the shape of my waist. So as you, like I was saying, it's a lot easier than doing a corset up at the back. So where are they? There's one, there's another, and you just pull. Now these clips I have an issue with, and I will show you why. Let me see here. The straps bunch up sometimes, which can make pulling the straps a little bit difficult. So I'm not going to push my luck on that one today. I'll readjust it when I take it off. So I'm not able to close that because my hips and my bum are extra large, but that's how you do it up. So like I was saying, these clips here I really have an issue with. The ones that are on the vintage piece, they work a lot better because the straps are actually thicker, so it works like an actual belt rather than a bit of fabric going through a metal clip. So if Cortland, so this is made by Cortland, if you're listening, please change your straps. It's okay, I can fix it, but it's not great. It's not great. So that's it. So you have these bits hanging down here, and a lot of people have asked me, oh, does that not show through when you wear clothes? It doesn't. I mean, it depends what you're wearing. The ladies back in the day, when they would have been wearing something like this, would have been wearing clothes that were made of thick fabric. They wore suits, or they wore clothes that wouldn't have shown any lumps, and none of this would have shown through. They were quite, yeah, the style of clothing was a lot different. But I mean, I wore this today with a long sleeve stretched t-shirt, and I didn't have a problem. Nobody could see anything. Your silhouette just looks really nice and trim. So the other thing is, you don't actually need to wear a suspender belt or another girdle with this, because you can attach your stockings here. This has an adjustable strap. You can make it longer or shorter. You have these at the back. I'll show you this again. So that's the Cortland family's girdle. I hope you enjoy the video, and let me know if you have any questions. I will put my contact details in the description of this video. Okay.